this is the introduction to a 5-part video series that I'm making. The reason I'm making this is, even though there's a lot of content out there around how to learn how to play chess, there's apps. Right here we have Chess. There's also chess.com and Chess Kid. Tons of different courses and people trying to do this, but I think there's a real lack of knowledge around how parents and teachers can really engage kids in the basics and teach from the beginning kind of fundamental chess thinking and make it be fun and not just a rote explanation of, here's how this piece moves. So I'm going to try to challenge you to be able to challenge your students or kids, especially during, this time. I'm sheltering in my home right now, so hopefully this is useful for someone. And a couple more of the principles that I want to just lay out here are interactivity. So the goal here is not to have your kid or whoever's learning the game, it can be an adult as well. You don't want them to just kind of go off on their own. Ideally, you want to have a way where you can engage with them and have the dynamic of this 2-player game of chess be really fun. So I want interactivity to allow you to connect with your child, have a parents and child kind of not be uncomfortable with their skill level at chess. If you don't know how to play, you should be able to learn along with your kid. I want to avoid this mistake of the boring piece-by-piece explainer that makes chess really dry and dull. By the end of the 5 parts course here, I think your child can be better than most adults just from these basics. Each video I hope to make like 10 minutes or less, but it can take a few months to actually do all of it, probably. I think most people don't really have a natural empathy and this teaching ability to properly scaffold a kid's learning. So what I'm going to provide is a series of mini games and activities to provide some structure that you can work within and modify to your own needs. But these games are going to be structured to enforce good practices and a progression of learning that, when done correctly, will kind of dramatically improve the outcome over alternative means that I've been teaching chess for a while and haven't found a better way. And nobody really knows this way. I kind of do it on my own, and other people are like, why are you doing it this way? And it really works well. So there's a thing I need to warn you about, which is patience. Please be patient with yourself, be patient with your kid. It's not easy to teach things. Chess is especially difficult, I think, for a lot of kids to learn. I only got good at teaching after going into classrooms with 200 kids every week, 5 to 6 schools. After a few weeks of kind of struggling through that, pretty much full time, I finally kind of had some clarity, and I'm still always learning and improving. So don't expect yourself to be perfect right away. And I also want to say, there's this common misconception that learning chess will make you smart and teach you all kind of life lessons. And that's really misleading because it's only insofar as hard work and team sports and other activities kind of will teach you these things. But first you have to learn the skill of the game itself. And so the first weeks, months, even years of learning chess aren't going to be, I'm going to teach my child how to think better logically and think ahead in life by teaching them chess. That's totally wrong. You're just going to teach them chess. And that's the only skill. You'll just be teaching them chess. They won't get better at life until they're sufficiently good at chess. And that's way down the road, that you can start to draw some parallels and look and reflect on your experience. For me, it was a couple years of high school reading books and getting tournament play before I actually, maybe junior year, after 3 years in, and I got pretty decent. That's when the life lessons started clicking, but not before. And so if it's just a hobby and it's just a activity, just a board game, it's not really going to be this transformative experience. So that's fine. And I think we should focus on making that initial period purely just fun. And chess should be really fun. It's usually boring when people don't teach it properly. So let's just recognize we're teaching chess, not life skills, and it'll be fun. Eventually you can teach life skills on top of this. It's a basis, but that basis should be engaging. Don't worry about the rest. Cool. So the first thing here in the introduction is you want to know kind of your student's skill level. And to assess skill level, I will often ask people a quick question, something like, hey, if I put this knight on this blank board, and I want you to move this knight to this square, is that a legal move or not? Are you allowed to move the knight to this square? The answer is yes. You can quickly kind of tell if a kid knows or not. And then you can get more fancy. Say, hey, how many moves does it take for this knight to get to this square? And the answer is it'll take 2 moves. They'll go there and then here. And then you can maybe do, how do I get rid of those? Oh, something more challenging is this square, which takes 4 moves at minimum. And so you say, hey, can you make legal knight moves and move the knight to this square? And maybe they'll go 1, uh-oh, I lost it. Let me use the arrow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. The other question I ask to assess skill doesn't have to do with the knights. It's just a general question of en passant and castling. So it's like, have you ever heard of this concept of castling? So if I have a position here, show me how this king would castle, long. And you move the king here and you put the rook there. And you say, can you castle in check? You can just ask questions about these basic rules. And then the last one is en passant. Do you know what en passant is? Have you heard of it? Please explain it to me how it works. And after those couple questions, you kind of get a sense. And most kids and most adults, even if they know those rules, they'll still benefit from starting at square one, which is bishops and rooks. So I'm going to explain that in video 1, how this game works. Basically, you have 2 bishops, and your opponent has 2 rooks. And so we explain how those pieces move. If someone doesn't know, if they do know, that's fine, and they can just play immediately. White moves first. Whoever captures a piece first wins. We'll go over that in the next video. To close out, I'll say just, again, my goal here is to provide you with a method to engage your child, and the key for you as a parent or educator is to be patient. And I'll explain what that means in how I teach bishops and rooks further. Last thing, I guess, is you can use these resources. So leechess.org is amazing. If you go to learn chess basics, they have all these fun courses to teach the piece movement and like capture little stars. So you can replicate this yourself. Hey, we'll talk about this more in a sec, but there's Lichess, there's Chess Kid, I think. Chess Kid, they have all these fun videos. Chess.com looks like they're rolling out some lessons and whatnot. Take chess lessons. So there's all kinds of resources online if you want a tablet or a screen in front of your kid that'll teach them great basics. And I definitely do recommend using those, or Play Magnus, I think. Magnus Carlsen. Where's his website? Magnus Carlsen. He has this Play Magnus app that seems like people like it. I've never tried it. Magnus Trainer. So yeah, and that's it for now.